Howdy and welcome to the Confidence Through Health podcast. I'm Jerry Snyder. As an elite level athlete, owner of All In Health and Wellness, and author of the book Confidence Through Health, my goal is to help you achieve your goals and dreams using health as the conduit to get there. I want to say thank you to Social Media Cowboys for sponsoring this week's episode of the Confidence Through Health podcast. If you need help with a website, if you need social media needs for your business, if you need help with AdWords, SEO, all those things that you know you should be doing but you are too busy to do or you're too confused about, they are the experts that you need in your corner. If you're interested in launching a podcast such as mine, they help me edit my podcast and do a fantastic job making sure that all of the technical side of it is handled and we launch a nice, neat, edited podcast episode each week. So I want to thank Social Media Cowboys for their continued sponsorship of the Confidence Through Health podcast. You can find them at socialmediacowboys.com, or you can find them as well with other sponsors at confidencethroughhealth.com. Howdy and welcome back to the Confidence Through Health podcast. It's your host, Jerry Snyder. First off, I want to apologize for missing a few weeks, but we are back in the swing of things. It is 2022, and the topic for today that I wanted to talk about briefly is core exercises. We've probably all heard about core exercises. I know I've had different physical therapists and trainers on in the past that have talked about this, but this is a hugely important piece of your overall physical health. Mainly because if you want to stay injury-free when you try and perform in any kind of athletic endeavor, or even like gardening, digging a hole for a tree, like different things that you do on a normal basis. Sometimes fishing, if you're out of shape fishing and you haven't been doing core exercises, sometimes you land that big one and it can knock you out. And so a lot of times when people have back injuries, it's because they have a very weak core part of their body. And so there's a couple of things I want to do before we get into the actual, what are the beneficial exercises to be doing. The first thing you got to know is, what is your core? And so basically anything from your hips up to about your breastbone or, your upper back, your shoulder blades. That's the word I was thinking of. Anything in that area, though, all those muscles, I should say, not anything, because your organs are not going to be that, but your muscles in that area, anything from your hips all the way up, so it's below your waist, and it's above what most people think of as just their abs, right? And you hear core exercises, most people think, oh, you want me to do a bunch of crunches, which are beneficial and they are a core exercise, but your core is a lot bigger area than just that. Now, one of the benefits of doing core exercises is that if you're exercising to benefit one side of your body, the other side is typically going to get a benefit as well, and vice versa. So if you're doing something for your abs in the front, your back is also getting stronger at the same time. You're working those muscles at the same time if you're doing something properly with proper form. So as you look at that bigger area that most people don't understand, they think of just their abs. They don't think of their back. They don't think of their sides. When you've got a much bigger area, then you go, oh, I can understand. If I'm doing true core exercises, how it's going to benefit my body, because I'm going to have better posture. I'm going to be able to breathe better. My diaphragm can work better. All these things are going to be more beneficial to you in preventing injuries down the road. Now, of course, I'm not talking about, you step wrong and you break your ankle because you stepped off of a stair the wrong way or something. Like, having a stronger core is not going to help that, right? But what I'm talking about is your back injuries, sometimes your overuse injuries, especially when they're in your core area, your upper body, your back, side stitches, your hip, leg, quad areas, all those kinds of injuries in there can often be attributed to a weak core area, weak core muscles. And sometimes it can be jarring injuries if you're running a lot, if you're cycling a lot, if you're doing something where you're using both sides of your body and you're in motion a lot. If you step wrong, you may not like have an ankle injury, but you may jar your body just enough that if you have a weak core, you're going to separate and skew your skeletal structure because your core muscles are not holding it tight enough. And then you're going to have an injury that's going to come from just your bones got out of whack. Your structure got out of whack. Happens a lot. And so you got to go see, somebody that's going to take care of that, whether it's a chiropractor or a specialist that deals with structure. So having a strong core, how do we get there? Well, the first thing that I always do is work on abs. Why? Because typically, if you're doing a lot of core exercises, you can do a lot of ab work without getting too tired. So you can do, unlike where if you're doing true strength work in the gym with weights for, say, upper body strength, you want to do arm work every other day. You don't want to do it every day. If you're truly doing hard lifting, if you're doing light lifting, you can do arm work every day. Ab work is almost always body weight, especially when you're starting out. You're just using your body weight. You're not using any machinery where you're putting weights to it. No, you can get to that level. When you get to that level, you want to do it every other day. But for just body weight exercises where you're just doing stuff that you can do in your house, if you've got a floor, which most of us do, then you can do these exercises on a daily basis and you'll see a benefit from it. Sometimes, some of them you can actually do multiple times a day and it's not going to hurt anything because you're only using your body weight. You got to carry your body weight around all day long. So exercising with it is not going to be that damaging to the muscles that you're exercising. So now when you're exercising your abs, one of the things you want to work on is the lower abs first and then move up, because as you get to working the upper abs, they're going to get tired and then you're not going to be able to do as much focus work on lower abs. So lower abs would be something like 6-inch leg raises or full leg raises, flutter kicks, things like that, where you're working those ab muscles. The intermediate, the ones in between are going to be more your crunches where your legs are out on the ground or your legs are bent, your feet are on the ground. You can do, you want to make sure you're doing side crunches. And then crunches with your legs in the air, whether they're bent knee, whether they're straight up and you're toe touching, any of those types of things are going to be working the abs at the top. So those are great for those ab exercises. So how do you work the back muscles? How do you work the side muscles? So you can do side crunches to work your side muscles. You can do Russian twists. That's going to work your side abs, your obliques, those areas. It's going to work down towards your hip muscles because you're using your legs and your upper body at the same time. And then other exercises for your back could be, if you have a machinery to do it, if you go to a gym, you can do back extensions. If you're just on your own floor or whatever, you do Supermans. And so you're just laying flat and then you're just lifting your hands and your feet sort of backwards crunch. That's great. And then if you have somebody you can work out with, you can use a ball, any kind of ball at first to start out with, like just a generic soccer ball, basketball, volleyball, just to catch while you're in that position. So you're Supermaned up and you're catching that ball back and forth and you're putting a lot of strength. You're not straining them to the standpoint of like injury, but you're putting a lot of pressure on those muscles to hold you up in that position. Another great exercise, of course, is planking. You can plank from your hands, you can plank from your elbows, you can plank from your side from your elbows. Those are all great. Other great exercises for your back include push-ups, and doing those in a variety of hand positions helps. Then And you can do push-ups. You can do around the clock push-ups where you're starting at basically wherever you start. That's 12 o'clock, and then you're jumping around the clock and doing 12 push-ups as you jump. And so you're jumping to 1 o'clock, do a push-up, 2 o'clock, do a push-up, 3 o'clock, do a push-up. It's a great exercise I do with my athletes. They don't necessarily always love it in the moment, but it is a great exercise to do for them because you only have to do 12 push-ups, of course, until you go backwards because you wind the clock and then you got to go counterclockwise. So when you do that, it's 24 push-ups, and the jumping aspect as well holds that plank of the push-up position. And so it's a hugely beneficial all-around core exercise to be able to do. It's more advanced, so definitely don't start with that. Start with your basic push-ups. Dips are always a great, it's a more arm exercise, but it's also great for your core because you're stabilizing your core as you're going down and up. So that's another good exercise to do. So those are all things you can do at home right now. You can start. If you've never done anything, or you're so far behind, you haven't done exercise in months, years, whatever the case may be, start out slow. Just do 10. Do 10 of an exercise, or do 10 of 3 different exercises. So you're doing 30. Write it down. This is a big key. Write it down. Either keep a spreadsheet or track it on a piece of paper on a pad. Just write it down somewhere where you've got it. And so today I did 30. I did 10 of these, 10 of these, 10 of these. The next day I did 30. I did 10 of these, 10 of these, 10 of these. At some point you're going to go, I did 10 and that was really easy. Maybe I should do 15, or maybe I should do 20 of each exercise. And you're going to take that jump and then take another jump and then take another jump. And you don't need to be Herschel Walker. He's infamous for his thousands of ab exercises and push-ups and core exercises a day. Thousands a day for years on end that he's done this. Ever since he was, I believe, in high school, he has done this. You don't have to do that. To be able to get the health benefit, to be able to get the body alignment and structure benefit from having a stronger core, all you have to do is something. You can build up to it and build up to it and build up to it. And the great thing about it is that when you get stronger, not only can you increase the number of reps that you're doing, but it actually does not take that much longer because you're stronger. You're able to do each exercise a little bit faster. So typically you can do, for most people, about 5 minutes of exercise when it comes to these core exercises, about 5 minutes a day or 5 minutes twice a day. If you want to do it in the morning and the evening, it's even more beneficial. But it doesn't take that long to be able to do it. Now, is this going to give you a six-pack? Probably not. It'll get you on the way to getting that. If that's a big time goal, depending on where you're starting, what's your starting physique look like? You'll get to that point where you're going to get a six-pack. Yes, absolutely. By doing these core exercises every day. Is it going to take more than 5 minutes? Probably. Doing 5 minutes a day, twice a day, and you're going to have a very strong core. You're going to be able to uphold your posture. You're going to be able to breathe better. And breathing, as I've talked about before in multiple episodes, is a huge piece of having a healthy life and a healthy body, is knowing how to breathe properly and using all of your lung capacity. So having a strong core, you're going to be able to use your diaphragm better. You're going to be able to hold yourself up better. You're going to be able to breathe better. You're going to have a healthier life, and you're going to have a life with a structurally that's structurally better for your body, and it's going to be more injury free as you get older. The stronger you can keep your core. Now, can you start whenever? Yes, you can start whenever. You can be 60 years old. Start today. If you're 12 years old, start today. Like it's not too early. It's not too late. Just start. Just start. So start doing some core exercises. If you need more, just reach out to me. If I said something and you're like, I don't understand how to do this, reach out to me. I'm happy to explain how to do these exercises. how to create a routine for you that will work for you. And after you get going on some of these, then you can start adding weights. You can start adding medicine balls. You can start adding different equipment, whether you have it yourself or you can use it at the gym, to be able to perform these exercises and get even a stronger benefit from it and more of a building factor to these muscles. But like I said, you don't have to be able to get the basic benefit of a stronger core for better posture and better health. And that's the goal that we all should be shooting for in 2022, is better health, because better health brings more confidence to your life.
Thanks for checking out the All in Health and Wellness Confidence Through Health podcast. Our goal is to use health as a conduit to help you reach your goals in life.
A little lighter than me. I'm about to black out. Her grip is getting tighter on me. I think I like it deep inside. I feel the fire in me. She like the milky, see me cream into the coffee to me. She got soul in her sway.